Dear students, it's our 59th lesson and topic today is Sunrise Part 5th, and today we will be discussing questions of this poem. So question number first, why was the sky thundering? Who was it angry with? As given in the poem, the answer to this question is the sky was thundering because it was angry. And who was it angry with? The sky was angry with the sun. And what was the reason behind it? The sun was not coming out of the clouds at its proper time. Question number two. What does the poet compare the sun to as it comes out from behind the clouds? So the poet, and why? The poet compares the sun to the schoolboy who reaches the class late, just like a schoolboy sometimes due to one reason or other reason comes late to the class. Similarly, the sun also comes late or appears late because it was that time covered with the clouds. And why the sun appears late in the afternoon? Because we are told in the poem that it was the descending time, so it was the afternoon time, and that is in fact, as we know, not the routine time of the sun to appear, because the sun usually appears in the morning. Who questions the who questioned the sky? Who questions the sky and why? The sky personified. Who questions the sun? Why? The sky personified as the schoolmaster questions the sun. And why? The sky questions the sun because the sun appears late in the afternoon time. In the afternoon time. So we can say, because and that is not usually the proper time or usual time of coming of sun in the sky, and so since it appears late in the afternoon time, and that's why the sky questions the sun that why are you so late. Question number 4, what is the sun's reply? The sun replies to the sky that it is unreasonable on the part of the sky to get irritated. That means the sky should not get irritated. It should not get irritated for the sun's late rising. And why? Because as per the sun, whenever the sun rises, it is sunrise. So there is no definite time for or no fixed time for the sun to rise. The sun replies here very proudly and confidently. And it replies that there is no fixed time for the sun to rise. The sun can rise anytime, and whenever it rises, that is sunrise. Then, question number 5, what adjectives or qualities we say would you use to describe the sun? First, when it emerges from behind the clouds. At that time, it was feeling timorous, that's timid, trembling, pale, covering, shrinking in the fear. And then, what adjectives would you describe the sun when it is shining in all its splendor? And the answer to it was feeling arrogant due to its power, proud, confident, glorious, brighter. So these are the various adjectives used with sun on different occasions. First, earlier in the poem, these adjectives, these qualities, and later in the poem, these qualities. Question number 6. What time of the day is being described and how do you know? It was the time afternoon. That is time after 12 p.m. And how do we know? The sun is shown descending. And we know the sun ascends up to 12 p.m. up to noon time. And at noon it is at its zenith. That means the highest point. And then after 12 p.m. it starts descending. So that's why we say that it was the time after noon. That means afternoon time. That's after 12 p.m. So it is that it was time after noon time. That means after 12 p.m. Question number 7. Why is the sky angry? And the answer to this, we know the sky is angry because the sun hasn't appeared on its routine time, and hence the sky is missing the company of the sun. And question number 8, how does it express? That means here it refers to the sky, express anger. The sky expresses its anger by thundering. by making noise. Question number 9. Explain the significance of the phrase by now. The phrase by now is very significant in this poem. It shows that the sun comes out of the clouds and is shining in all its glory. It's getting, we say that, brighter and brighter, and it happens in the later part of the poem. And this glory or this brightness of the sun removes the gloom, removes the sadness from the atmosphere, from the sky, from the whole atmosphere. Just like similarly, when the knowledge removes the darkness and clouds of ignorance. So this shining of the sun, it is referred to as, we can say, enlightenment, and enlightenment removes ignorance, and enlightened sun removes the ignorance or the darkness of the world. Similarly, enlightenment or knowledge, that removes the clouds of ignorance from the life of a person. Next question, how is the sun different from what it was earlier in the poem? Earlier in the poem, the sun was covered by clouds. It was also shrinking in fear because the sky was thundering in anger. It was looking pale. But later in the poem, the sun emerged from behind the clouds. That means it pushed the clouds away. It was shining brightly. It was feeling proud and confident. And it was glowing in all its glory. Next question, who was getting annoyed and why? And we know in this poem, annoyed means irritated. It was the sky. It was getting annoyed with the sun. And what was the reason for this? The sun had not appeared on its routine time, and that is, we know, it's morning. It was already past the noon time. That means it was already past the 12 p.m. time, and the sun was not there yet. And what was the reason for that? Because it was still behind the clouds, and so the sky was getting annoyed, and it was also missing the company of the sun. Next question, what quality of the sun is reflected in these lines, the last lines of the poem? The sun is shown as proud and confident. It is shown as glowing in glory. It is shown as getting brighter and brighter. So we can say the sun is shown in all its glory, in all its strength, in the last lines of the poem. And with this, we ended this poem. So thank you very much. Have a great time.